All right, looks like we're getting live here. Hopefully. Yep, there we go. We are live. Good late Sunday morning to everybody. Blue Dooley here, and we're going to do some trucking in American Truck Sim. Just kind of hanging out. Yeah. Waiting for some parts still a little bit, so can't really work on any of the things I want to work on. As you can see, we're still in the absolutely gorgeous Mac Superliner by Dialing Woo. Absolutely love this truck. Actually, I just love the Superliner more than any truck, really. It's gorgeous. Peterbilts and Kenworths, they're kind of like Mustangs and Camaros. Everybody has one. Superliner, though, not everybody has one of those. Of course, I don't remember where I am or what I was doing in the game. Let's see here. It doesn't look like we got a load. And where are we? I think we're up in Montana somewhere. No, we're actually over in Washington. That's right. So this is a new playthrough. I have a different profile that I have a lot more of the map explored and a lot more miles driven, but I'm trying to run a little bit lighter mod profile on this playthrough. I do have some graphics mods. The Superliner is a mod truck. I have some sounds, and then a lot of accessories to put on the trucks. So this is kind of a mods light playthrough. I have paid off my first loan, which is how I got the truck. But we have not unlocked the upgraded garage, so we can only have one driver and one trailer at the moment. Let's go over here to... So, yeah, we've only done 19 deliveries. One satisfactory, one reasonable, two late, 15 excellent. On time, 17 times, undamaged, 17. Special transports, 1. Don't have much of the map explored because, well, we haven't driven that many miles. Trucks owned. I've used 4 different trucks, but the most used truck, of course, is the Superliner. We've only done 8,500 miles so far. So we're 11 days in our new playthrough. Let's see what we can get here. We're running a 53-foot step deck triaxle. And I have all of my loads currently sorted by price because, well, I want to make that money so I can hire a driver here, get another truck. We could run over to Seattle with a boom lift. We haven't done much in Oregon. So we could load up a couple forklifts, run down to Eugene, Oregon. We could take a tractor back to Napa. Or we can take a driller that we just hauled to the port. Yeah, let's do that one. Let's head over to the coast. Send a quick text while I'm waiting for the load. And a nice bright early start I see at 1:43 a.m. Hopefully audio all looks good. Well, get her in gear. Apparently this is where we're picking up our things, so we don't have to go very far. That makes it nice when you're already where you need to be. Apparently they're sending drillers all over the place. We're going to Port Angeles. We'll skip it, doesn't matter. SCS does need to work on their load securement a little better. That drill arm should be sitting on the trailer and at least have a chain or a strap over it to hold it down. Let's go ahead and get rolling. The newest mod I am trying out right now is Clean Vegetation, and it is for ATS 1.48. So hopefully my trees and all the vegetation look better. Of course it's dark, so we're not going to be able to see shit, but that's alright. Roll through Colville here, quiet like. Since it's 2:25 in the morning, that guy's getting an early start. I think I put the wrong brake light on the back of the cab because that should be a turn signal too. I also think we'll swing in here and get some fuel. Pulled it the wrong way. Oh, we'll flip around. Where's the actual building for the truck stop? Just some random pumps out here in the middle of the parking lot. $926 for 187 gallons. So we need $180,000 to upgrade our shop. That's kind of what we're working for right now. And the truck I want to get after this truck, I don't actually have a high enough level to unlock it yet. Well, the chassis configuration anyways. Pull through this stupid roundabout. Hopefully miss that pole. Now we got full tank of fuel. We're loaded and heading out. About a 9-hour drive, so at least the sun will be up here in a little while. House over there on the river. Looks like we're going to be winding our way through the mountains, which will make it a pretty drive. Those are my headlights. Oh, there's somebody else coming. I believe the mod, it's been a while since I read the description, I apologize, but it should affect all the vegetation. Trees, grass, shrubs. Just kind of clean it up a bit, make it look a little better. I also have the real ATS traffic mod, which kind of adjusts the traffic you see depending on the time of day and where you're at. And at 3 o'clock in the morning in the mountains, that would explain why we haven't seen anybody yet. As very few people are up this early. Lousy place to be broke down at. Did have some, well, I don't think it's a controversial opinion. Apparently, when you diss on Tesla, people get mad at you. However, on the flip side, when you do post controversial content, it does draw in a lot more people to your content. And it's kind of one of those things that if you don't drive truck, anything most of us truck drivers say negatively about an electric vehicle, you're just not going to understand our point of view on the subject. And the conversation starter is that Tesla, one of their head engineer for the semi-truck, and another guy, let Jay Leno drive one of the semis. The first question he asked was how much it weighed, and they didn't answer it. They didn't even beat around the bush. They just started yakking about something completely, entirely different than the truck's weight, which I thought was a bit rude. And I also thought it was a bit strange because if you go over to the fast lane truck, TFL truck, Andre got a chance to. Oh, that's at 35. 35 drive a Nikola hydrogen fuel cell truck. And he asked how much it weighed, and they told him exactly how much it weighed. Not even a teensy bit of hesitation. They didn't go, well, depending on how it's spec'd, this truck weighs 26,000 pounds. Stop. And I have not watched the next video in the TFL truck series on the Nikola yet. But hydrogen fuel cell is technology I'm a little more interested in instead of just straight battery electric. Although 26,000 pounds for a tractor, especially a very short wheelbase cab over, that's pretty heavy. I drive a 2023 Mack Granite, and from the factory it was only 17,000 pounds, to put that in perspective. With a 12 liter turbo diesel, 12-speed transmission, a super heavy duty steel spring suspension, not air ride. Now with the headache rack, the light bar, the full tank of fuel, all my straps and stuff, I'm gonna put that weight up around 19,500 pounds probably. The headache rack and the toolbox are all aluminum, so they're not super heavy. The trailer is still heavier than the truck I drive, just because of the way it's configured and what I haul. I mean, when you're talking, 6,000-7,000 pounds weight difference. Yeah, it only even start out with 5 left. Cool. That's pretty significant. And of course, in shorts, you can't actually go much over a minute, so you don't really get the full story. So I made a second one. And not all trucks run at 80,000 pounds. Very true point. However, not all roads and bridges can support 80,000 pounds. And as I was trying to explain to someone in the comments on Instagram, if we're pulling the same trailer with the same amount of weight, let's say, because there's a road the boss wanted me to take and I couldn't go over it loaded because I was too heavy. The road limit is 60,000 pounds. So if I'm pulling the same trailer as you are with the same load, I am either 9,000 pounds lighter, which means even my diesel is more efficient because I'm hauling less weight, or we're still both at 60,000 pounds, but I have 6,000 pounds more cargo loaded on the truck. You didn't have to get over that far, boss. And that's at any weight class. You could say, well, what if you're only can run 50,000 pounds? Again, I'm still the same amount lighter, or have the same amount more cargo at any given weight. And I think a lot of people don't understand, because if you don't drive truck or even pickup truck and pull a trailer, 8,000 pounds might not seem like a lot of weight. Right. 6,000 pounds. Excuse me. But you have to stop and think about how many trucks are in a fleet. I can tell you Pepsi, for example, who has some Tesla trucks, they have 8,000 tractor power units. 8,000 semi-trucks. They have a lot more trailers because it just makes sense to have more trailers than trucks, because you can have a truck pull up to a warehouse or a distribution center or the factory, drop an empty trailer or a trailer that has the cardboard boxes for packaging, or empty aluminum cans. You can have them drop that trailer, hook on to a trailer full of full product in a very short amount of time. I think when I was doing drop and hook for trash, I could drop a trailer at a dock, hook onto another trailer, and be rolling in probably less than a half hour. Maybe 15 minutes tops. Because not only can you only drive so many hours a day, you can only be on the clock so many hours a day in a commercial vehicle. I can drive for 11 hours total, and then I got 3 more hours to do pre-trip, lunch, get stuck in traffic, detoured around construction. So, again, like the weight thing, yeah, not all Pepsi trucks are going to be 80. A truckload of Lay's potato chips certainly is not going to be 80,000 pounds. But Gatorade, Pepsi, Mountain Dew, pallets of that stuff aren't exactly light. And I'd imagine you could probably max out a weight with liquid probably quickly. And that's also kind of the other thing that bothered me about Tesla, is Pepsi is testing those trucks. And I know for a fact Pepsi knows exactly how much a pallet of every single product they have and sell weighs. So when they load a truck up, I know for a fact that they are probably within 5 pounds of knowing exactly how much product by weight is in the trailer. So for them to kind of hem and haw and be like, well, some of the trucks were here, and we're not exactly sure how much product the truck might have dropped off and then picked up at the same location, that is 100% bullshit. They know exactly how much product was loaded and unloaded and loaded on that truck and trailer. Again, probably to within 5 pounds. The only thing that would really affect the weight is how much saran wrap the dock guy puts on a pallet to hold it together. I haul trusses, and I can look at the build sheet for a trusses pack. Not only can I tell you how much that truss pack weighs, I can tell you how many linear board feet are in it. So I never leave the yard not knowing how heavy I am and we don't even have a scale. I scaled the truck empty with a full tank of fuel, so I can tell you exactly how much my truck weighs with any given job. When I got the transmission and all the parts to do a transmission swap for my pickup, the company that shipped it to me knew exactly how many pounds that pallet was. Pallet, transmission, adapters, wiring harness, starter, everything I needed to do the swap. They had it down to like, I think it was 498 pounds. And if a transmission shop can tell you how much all that stuff weighs, people who move a lot more freight constantly absolutely know how much that freight weighs. I mean, if you don't, you're just shooting yourself in the foot, basically. Those trees do look gorgeous, don't they? Whoops, we're... I mean, if you see an article and they're hemming and hawing or not giving you an exact weight, it's because they don't want to. Now, if the Tesla Semi was lighter, like if they came out with a battery pack that they could get the same range that they currently do, and the truck weighs less than a day cab semi with a, iron block engine and transmission, they would absolutely be screaming that from every mountaintop. Hey, our electric truck is, even if it was 2,000 pounds lighter than the truck I got, they would 100% be going on every news station and every channel that reviews trucks, and just every possible chance they get to tell you that their electric truck is lighter than a standard semi-truck, they would be. So the only reason they're not telling you how much it weighs is because it weighs a lot. The other thing that bugged me about the Tesla interview was just how much bullshit or smoke they're trying to blow up people's asses. This Superliner, even back in the 80s, wasn't that hard to drive. To get a truck that's hard to drive, you'd have to go back to probably early 60s or back in the 50s, when the truck didn't have power steering and had what's known as a brownie box, which means it actually had two separate transmissions with two separate gear shift levers, one for each transmission. So you were trying to shift two transmissions sometimes at the same time. Yeah, that took some skill. Not gonna lie. I barely managed to get a twin stick truck moved from the parking lot into a service bay. So yeah, trucking a while ago was more difficult than it is today. The 2016 Kenworth we got with a 10-speed, man, it's as easy to shift that transmission as it is to shift it in a car. And actually, if you know how to float gears, it's even easier, because after you're rolling, you don't even need the clutch pedal. You can just upshift and downshift by rev matching. Just float the gears. Absolute piece of cake. Power steering, they're easy to drive. even with full steel spring suspension rated for a bazillion pounds, the truck still rides nice. And some bumps will upset it. Like, you definitely notice some divots in the road, but it's a very easy truck to drive. It has a 12-speed automated manual, so the computer does the clutch and the gear changes. And 99% of the time I don't have any problems with it. 1% of the time it does some goofy things. Doesn't always want to downshift, even with your foot flat on the floor. So you just reach over, push the minus button, and it goes down a gear. But yeah, the truck I drive, it's already super easy to drive. Making it any easier to drive is just gonna mean you're gonna get even worse truck drivers, not better. The truck I had previously was also a 10-speed. As again, we're never super heavy. And if we were to have a house pack or a truss pack that would put the truck at 80,000 pounds, there would almost, I can pretty much guarantee you, there would be too many trusses to put on the trailer in load in the first place. I mean, I've delivered some houses that the truss package was maybe 30,000 pounds, which just tips me at like right around 70,000 pounds gross. But we couldn't put it all on one truck. That was three trucks worth of trusses. It's a giant house. I could do a whole rant on just some of the ridiculous houses we've hauled to. We had one this year that, not counting trips with like a couple of trusses because the homeowners changed the floor plan, five truckloads. I think the final truss package came in at just under $200,000 just for the trusses. The house is just gigantic. And I mean, I will not comment on the Tesla's aesthetic, because aesthetics are kind of different. Everybody has a little different style taste. But the truck can do most of the time enough miles that I could drive it at my job. The problem with it is it has to be very aero efficient to get that range. And when they're talking, when they're doing their testing and stuff, even with heavier loads, those loads are still more aerodynamic than most of the stuff I haul. So yeah, K-rails don't have a lot of aerodynamic drag. Truss package, 13 foot 10 wide, just about 14 foot tall, with all those openings and voids and different shapes, absolutely just demolishes your range, even in a diesel. I mean, with the biggest packs I haul, it's dropping down to 6.4 miles to the gallon. And as soon as I'm empty, heading back, it climbs up to 8. Just because of the aerodynamic drag. I've actually gotten better than 8. I filled up in Blackfoot one day and reset the trip computer. By the time I got back from Blackfoot, Idaho to Jerome, Idaho, the truck was at 8.9 miles to the gallon. I think I needed to turn in there. Oops. Maybe we can make that. Take the ferries. I did this terribly, terribly wrong. I guess we're just going to pull right here in the middle. Set our park brake. Spend $100 and avoid burning a lot more fuel to go around. The other problem, at least in my particular application, is most electric trucks, because of their shape, to be very fuel efficient or energy efficient, they have to have a lot of skirting and aero kits on them, which some of the places I go, if I had that Tesla truck or even the Nikola truck, I'd rip those fairings off of it probably 2 or 3 times a week at least. By the time you go through culverts or ditches and drive through sagebrush that hasn't ever been mowed in a million years, you just catch all that aero stuff on the trees and bushes and piles of dirt and rock I gotta drive around to get in and out of the job site. Yeah, I hop over curbs and sidewalks every day. So if the lawn's a little lower than the sidewalk, wouldn't even have a lawn. The truck's wheelbase is long enough that if you're too close to the ground or have too much low-hanging stuff on there, the frame, you go down in a hole and you've high-centered the truck. And I think that's kind of my biggest issue with the whole EV truck discussion is people don't understand that not all trucks do the same thing. Yeah, you see way more highway trucks than you do construction trucks. Like, I haul trusses and don't even see another truss truck every day. And it depends on where I'm going. If I'm going to Idaho Falls, I usually see one going when I'm heading east, he's heading west. But 7 years, I think I've maybe seen our competition in a subdivision 5-6 times, maybe in 7 years. it really kind of depends on the application, what you're hauling, how far you're hauling it. The cab of my truck's a lot narrower than the Tesla, so I don't have to worry about scratching the truck up as much in the trees up in the mountains. So I just don't think one solution is going to be the answer. And I think a lot of people have a hard time understanding that. Of course, the other thing people who are just blindly following the EV trend forget, since you're not buying fuel, gasoline, or diesel, you're not paying road tax. So every gallon of diesel I buy, it's been a while since I looked it up, 70 to 90 cents every gallon is just tax on diesel. So when you go to register the vehicle, you generally pay significantly more to register an EV than you do its fuel counterpart. Because again, they got to make up for that tax somehow. And then there's also the price, which well, Edison Motors doesn't have a price because they've only just got their first prototype built. Nikola, I don't remember them saying what their price is for the fuel cell truck. I mean, Tesla's cars cost a fair amount of money, so I imagine the truck probably going to cost a significant sum as well. And I did see an article that the Tesla semis Pepsi purchased, they got a pretty substantial check from the government to buy those trucks. And when you're getting paid, I think it actually came out that Pepsi was paid to test those trucks. I mean, makes a little more sense. If it's out of pocket and you're not getting government subsidies, is it going to be comparable price-wise to a truck with a diesel? I don't know. Yeah, fuel's expensive. It's well calculated into our pricing. Everybody's pricing. Same with maintenance and oil changes. All that stuff is factored in. People who have been in the business for a very long time have all that stuff figured out to the penny. And the charging infrastructure, I'm going to say, is its biggest limitation right now. if I'm most fuel islands, the pumps are far enough apart. Even at 13 foot 10, I can squeeze through most of them with very little trouble. Uh, if you're packing the Charger I seen a Freightliner parked at, those looked so narrow, I'd have to unhook the charge. Whereas I don't have to unhook the fuel. And it's not like it takes a long time to unhook a truck from a trailer. But that time adds up over, a year. Just on one person. If every, if I'm spending 20 minutes to unhook my truck so I can go charge, nothing there. Jackass. If I'm spending time unhooking and unhooking and hooking the trailer back up, that's time I'm not driving. And yeah, I get paid by the hour, so to me, it won't hurt me. However, that hurts the company because they're paying me for more time not delivering stuff. Now, again, it doesn't seem like a lot when we're talking one person. You figure, I think we have four total trust drivers at where I work. We got that's apparently a little slower than I thought it was. So you figure if every one of us a couple of times a week is unhooking the trailer to charge the truck over the course of a year, that's going to add up. Over the course of the year, that's probably enough downtime or time wasted doing that we could probably get one or two more entire deliveries done if we hadn't messed with that time. I'm way off. Jesus. That's terrible. Let me fix that. That is terrible. And another point of things people seem to forget is the chargers themselves. Now, I wasn't there during the conversation, so let me stipulate that first. But one of my coworkers did look into seeing how much it would cost to put a charger at his house so they could, get an electric vehicle. They don't do a lot of miles, and if they do, they'll just take the other car. His house is old enough, they would have to rewire the house from the pole to the electrical panel because the house was never designed for that heavy of an amp load for the charger. Again, wasn't there. He said it was going to be about $10,000 to install a high enough amp and voltage plug to charge an electric vehicle. And that's to charge one electric vehicle. Now, at work, we have a lot higher voltage coming into the facility already because of all of our saws and tables and finish roller. All of that stuff is three-phase and over 400 volts. And a significant amp draw. So the facility already has the voltage needed. But we need enough chargers so we can charge 3 trucks over the course of a night. Now, then you add in the forklifts, because of course people want to use electric forklifts if we're going to electric trucks. So now we got 3 semi-trucks. We got to be able to pull up to the building to charge. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 forklifts, if all of them were electric. Plus our pilot truck, and plus a 2-ton flatbed. That, again, those get used the least. So they could just be charged and then pulled off the charger and parked. No big deal. So to wire the facility to supply that much more voltage, that's not going to be cheap. And that's one location. So then you figure the other truss plant, there's that cost. And then Twin, Boise, Caldwell, McCall, Pocatello, Elko, Bellevue. So we have 7 lumber yards, and I don't know how many trucks are at every lumber yard. So 7 more lumber yards that need chargers for their trucks and forklifts. And that's, again, the fuel cost you'll always have throughout the life of the truck. Whereas the chargers, after they're installed, they might not, well, they might need to be changed every now and then because as technology advances, the new truck after the first electric truck might have different voltage requirements for its fast charging. So it's not like you're going to get to a point where the infrastructure to support your electric vehicle is ever permanently paid for. Because for some reason, the entire world could agree on how big to make a gasoline hose nozzle. Voltage? The world can't even agree on a voltage. So, I mean, you know, and most manufacturers sell vehicles all over the world. So now you're trying to figure out, well, you know, Americans don't run that much voltage to their house. So we have to change the vehicles we sell over there to work with their voltage. Same with America. Well, you want to sell an EV over in Europe, although their buildings have a higher voltage at them already. Whereas I take my pickup truck or my semi-truck anywhere in the world and get fuel. So we kind of need all of the electric vehicle manufacturers and legacy vehicle manufacturers to all sit down at a table and agree on a voltage and a plug shape. Yeah. That's the worst thing about cell phones is every time you buy a phone, you have to buy a new charger because, hey, we decided to change the plug. Although Apple finally decided to use the plug everybody else is on with the USB-C, I think. But I mean, it's a hard position to explain because I can see the benefits of them. I've used If you used quality electric tools, you know that they are very powerful and they work really well. But at the same time, they don't always work in every situation. So we kind of have to understand, I think, that there isn't a single solution for the problem. We leveled up so we can get ourselves. What do we got here? Deliveries up to 650 miles. If we go up to rank 3, that'll get us a 1,000-mile delivery. I'm actually not too worried about distance. So I think we'll just max out our high value right now. And we can haul a whole bunch of drillers again. Go to Pendleton, Oregon, Vancouver, Astoria, Vancouver. Well, we just hauled one of those, so let's not haul one of those again. We got new upgrades available. So we leveled up. Let's see what we get here. We got some rims, the exclusive chrome sun visor, some side skirts, cabin deflectors, but we did not get the chassis. 16. I haven't gotten any the chassis upgrade I want yet. Let's see what Freightliner had just for funs and giggles. We got some engine options for the Freightliners, side skirts, transmissions. One of the mod trucks, the FLB, looks like we got some parts for. I don't have any modded Peterbilt trucks because I don't like Peterbilts, so. Engine, some visors. Kenworth. I do got Kenworth mod. I had a T800 mod. As that was the Kenworth I used to drive before the Mac. Come on, Peter. There we go. Engines and visors. Doing some bumpers. Door trim. I do have the W900 accessory pack DLC. Volvos. Let's see what we got in Volvos. Engines and sun visors. We also got trailer upgrades. Ooh. Got 53 feet for that light bar, 53 feet for the flatbed, 53 feet for the enclosed. The trailer wing for the ownable tanks. That actually kind of looks cool. What about the Prestige? We can do 4 axles on the drop deck now. I think I got the Prestige drop deck. I don't remember. I don't remember. We got our rating up to a 5.0 though now. So doing good there. We're at $115,000. So we are getting closer to that garage. Let's see here. What can we get from here? Do boom lift to Missoula for 74,000. That would actually put us high enough in that one load to get that garage updated. But it is also urgent delivery. Or we could do 2 to someplace a little closer. Not worry about that urgent delivery thing. The skid steers are actually a cargo add-on I have. Just add some more construction equipment. You know what? Screw it. Let's do the big boom lift for the big bucks. That's what we're here for. The big money. Helps if you release part work. We're here for the big monies. And thankfully we can get to it before it expires. Making big money now. I just think there's a lot of things people who are not in trucking don't know about. So it's harder for them to understand where we're coming from when drivers and stuff talk about issues. The other thing I think a lot of people forget is I'm kind of an exception because I get paid by the hour. A lot of drivers, over-the-road drivers, are by the mileage. And you are required to take a half-hour break so many hours into the day. So if the charging infrastructure isn't robust enough, if you take your mandatory break, half hour, while you're waiting for a charger, and you gotta wait a half hour to get charged for a half hour, well, now you've lost a half hour drive time. Which, again, doesn't sound like that much. But if you're losing a half hour every day, you're losing money. And some places pay their drivers shit, so that kind of a thing is a very huge concern in the trucking industry. For a truck driver. And the other thing, just because of the comment I got, yes, most of us, I would say probably the overwhelming majority of truck drivers would love trucks that accelerate faster. That sounds absolutely fantastic. Drivers don't get to choose how the truck is spec'd. And I will tell you that the people who buy trucks, how fast it gets to 60, not even anywhere close to being on a list for considering a vehicle. The people who buy fleet vehicles do not give a shit about how fast it is, which is clearly demonstrated by the number of trucks that do struggle to pull a grade or get off the line. And it has to do, again, with some efficiency, as a smaller engine will get better fuel economy than a really big engine, unfortunately. But yeah, constantly trying to push the 0 to 60 time to fleet applications, you're wasting your breath, because the people who sign the check to buy the truck, they do not give a shit about how fast it is. Absolutely do not care. See, we were going 631 miles and we got 11 hours and 45 minutes according to the GPS. So this would actually take more than a day to get this load delivered legally. But I don't have fatigue simulation on, so we can just drive it all the way straight through. Now see how they got straps over the basket of the boom lift? And then they got a chain at each corner. This boom lift is properly secured to the trailer, unlike the driller. So, I say so too much. But the thing I think Tesla tries to revolutionize things that don't need it. And the semi-trucks are one of them. The centered seating position isn't really a benefit, no matter how hard they try to sell it. Come on, car. Being able to stand up in the cab, you can already do that. You can't in my day cab, but any of the Aero big sleeper cabs you can. That's not a new thing. That's not a Tesla exclusive. There are plenty of trucks you can stand up in the cab with. And my biggest issue is touchscreens. Why the hell does everything have to be a fucking touchscreen now? They're not intuitive. And I don't see how people say they're safer than a knob. Yeah. If you have to scroll through a menu to change a setting, you're taking your eyes off the road longer than if you just glance at the dash and reach for a knob or a switch. And I don't know how well they're going to work in the wintertime. Like, you know, I might hop out in a snowstorm or freezing rain to tighten straps and jump in the truck because I need to move it, or change something, or, you know, even adjust the heater. Can I adjust the heater in that truck with a touchscreen with cold, wet fingers? Or maybe I'm unloading somewhere and somebody else just needs me to move the truck 5 feet, 20 feet to get out of the way, or let somebody else by. You know, I'm not taking my gloves off to get in and do any of that stuff. And I believe the park valves, brake valves, are actual valves. I think they legally have to be. You know, if I have to hop in real quick, turn something else off or turn something on, my gloves are soaking wet and ice covered, does the touch screen still work? The other problem I have with touchscreens is even if you buy the same brand, it doesn't necessarily mean that the next newest version of that vehicle is going to have the same menus and things. The Mac and the Kenworth have totally different layouts for their dashes. I can hop in any truck in our fleet and change any setting, operate anything on that truck with but a glance. There's no learning curve. There's no, oh, you go here and here and here. There's absolutely none of that with current truck configurations. I think the Nikola truck, the diff locks even touchscreen in the touchscreen, so you got to find the menu for that. That's ridiculous. That is not a good interior layout, period. If I need the diff locks, I kind of need them now, not in a minute or two trying to find it in the fucking menu. You can be driving down the road and need the diff locks on, and if you're looking over here at a menu, that's terrible design. I can hop in any of the trucks at work, and if I need diff lock or power divider lock, again, a quick glance at the dash, and I found the button, and I've engaged it. With actually very little thought on my part. The trucks are just laid out in a way that it's easy to find that stuff. It's easy, even between brands. I can hop in any Freightliner, find that same switch in just a glance. Now, if it's a really old truck and all the labels are worn off the buttons, yeah, it might take a little bit. But yeah, the center driving position works really good for IndyCar, motor grader, loader, because you have a lot more windows, or no windows in the IndyCar's case, so you can easily see the corners of the vehicle. I haven't sat in a real Tesla truck, so I can't tell you how easy it is to see or not see the front end of the truck, or even gauge where it is. And of course their answer is, well, we'll just put a camera there. Alright, so you're making the truck cost more because you're putting more cameras on it because your design is terrible and visibility is terrible. That's not a great solution by any stretch of the imagination. That's a terrible solution. More cameras is not an acceptable answer. The truck I drive has hood mirrors. They work whether the truck's on or not. I don't want the camera. I've had trucks with multiple cameras on them, and for them to be useful, the screen needs to be pretty decent sized, and then when they're big enough so you can actually clearly see details in them, they're big enough they're now a distraction more than they are help. I hate driving Mom's Honda Fit, because when you turn on the right turn signal, the screen turns to the camera mounted in the mirror, and that's a distraction to me because it brings my eyes away from the mirror that I was looking at to the center of the vehicle. It's obnoxious. To me, that is not helping at all. Okay. Didn't have to come down to 30 in a 60 zone. The other thing I noticed on both, actually, Nikola's fuel cell truck and the Tesla Semi, neither one of them have provisions to hold tire chains. And I know that, a lot of people are going to say, well, if you need tire chains, you shouldn't be driving. To which I answer, sometimes you need them because you're already driving in some place you now suddenly need them. I'd also like to point out that in the western states, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, I would imagine even California, so I'm going to go straight, ranting and getting lost. The states actually have a chain law. At a certain time of year, you have to have chains on the truck, whether you use them or not. Now, you can put automatic chains on it, and that'll answer that requirement. And I have not seen how Tesla's axles actually are built and laid out, so I can't tell you how easily or difficult it would be to put automatic chains on a Tesla. Jumping over to Edison Motors, who is based out of Canada, their electric truck has tire chains hangers on it, like any standard truck should have. And in my job, we never take them off the trucks. We have tire chains year-round on our trucks. Just because some of the places we go, you need tire chains even in the summer. I've used tire chains to get through mud, greasy grass, up really steep dirt roads. So I have absolutely chained a truck up in the middle of July get up a steep dirt road simply because the truck doesn't have enough traction to do it otherwise. If you're just going to say, well, safety comes first, and we just don't want our drivers driving in conditions where they need tire chains. Alright, so are you going to call me up and tell me my delivery is going to be 2 or 3 days late because there's a chance of snow somewhere in Colorado on the truck's route? If you do that, let me tell you, I'm going to find somebody else to haul my freight. Full stop. You start telling me, well, there's a chance the weather might be bad. We don't want our driver to put tire chains on. Okay, I'll go find me a company with truck drivers that actually know how to drive in the winter and aren't scared of tire chains. And that really hurts some people's feelings, because I know I've hurt truck drivers' feelings by saying, well, I've thrown tire chains on all the time. Don't know what you're whining about. And again, if you're driving, the weather can change within an hour's drive time. So you might have spent all day not needing them, and then get to some place where, yeah, I need them just so I can get someplace safe and park. And I think that's another one of those things that a lot of people just don't take into consideration when talking about different types of vehicles. Do I drive down the interstate with chains on? No, because I'm an oversized load and that's done. Also, don't drive in a blizzard because, again, oversized load, that's dumb, and the customer's not going to be working in a blizzard anyways. However, when I go to deliver the load the day after the blizzard, I'm going to need the tire chains just to get in and out of the job site. I know for a fact in Idaho it's October 1st to April. You have to have tire chains. Hello. Thank you. And again, the infrastructure. Everybody who wants to go electric really needs to start funding money to upgrade the power grid and get the infrastructure in place to do it. Because, I mean, if you're stuck somewhere in Wyoming or Montana because of a blizzard, and you're not someplace with a charger, that could be some big trouble. You know, just depending on when you last charged the truck. On Super Dog, we can do it. Tapping our brakes, but we are. And yeah, there goes with a 70, and we're stuck at 60 still. Yeah, muddy looking lake there. Like this little way station here. Are we going to put a couple chargers at the way station in the middle of nowhere? Come on, little car. You can do it. I believe in you. There goes a Tesla right now. And another one. I was just making fun of you guys. And of course, now that I got out there, they sped up. Now the thing I like about the fuel cell that Nikola's working on, even Toyota's working on hydrogen fuel cells, is you still get a little quicker fill up, and the emissions are clean. But they're also less of a radical vehicle design. The Nikola truck is actually in Iveco. I don't know the exact model, but Iveco's been building trucks since the 70s. So they've been building trucks a while. They know how to lay everything out nice. I don't like touchscreen everything, but cab is thought out better than the Tesla. It's a European cab over, so while it looks a little strange to most American trucks, it's not ridiculous looking. It wasn't a bad looking truck. But again, 26,000 pounds. She's a chunky day cab, especially considering the truck they were test driving only has one powered rear axle. Second rear axle isn't powered; it's just there for holding the weight. You can admire the beautiful scenery here in the truck. Check out my YouTube video. I actually drove Edison Motors electric truck in ATS, which was cool. And I like Edison Motors' approach to what's up that way, as they're not truck engineers, they are truck drivers engineering a truck. So their cab configuration is still while it is central seating, the cab is more like a piece of heavy equipment. So it has the windshield and the lower glass by your feet, so you can see the front end, both corners of the bumper easily. Not sure what that weird gurgly was, but and they're not building the truck they're building the truck completely opposite of the Tesla. They're building their truck so the truck driver or the maintenance guy can very, very easily service anything on the truck that needs serviced. Because, yes, electric vehicle has less moving parts, stuff still breaks. Like, our saws don't do miles. They don't give road vibrations for hours and hours of the day. They still break down. Still occasionally need to change out a motor or gearbox or a sensor. Might have to replace a sprocket on the chains, or the chain itself will get some slack in it. So they're not 100% maintenance free. And Teslas kind of have a reputation for not being easy to work on. That doesn't fly in fleet. If I gotta wait 2 weeks for a part, that's a problem. We're following a little too close, but maybe they'll figure out what the skinny pedal does. John Deere's even being sued because they don't want farmers. They've made their stuff so people can't even work on it if they own it. That whole right to repair thing, it's kind of important in the fleet world. We have a couple of mechanics on staff, because that way we don't have to wait to take it someplace or wait to have a service vehicle come out to it. We can just call our guy up and be like, hey, need you to fix something. And they can either pick the part up on the way to meet you wherever you're broke down, or I can jump in their pickup truck, run and get the part while they start repairing it. I don't have to take it to a dealer and then him and haw about when they can get to it. Which unfortunately is the problem with the Macs we're getting. The service place, the Mac service dealer here in Twin, they're a week out just to change a hose clamp. That's not acceptable. Because I blew the intercooler boot and I was already partway to Twin, so I called him like, we could get you in next Wednesday. No, I kind of need it right now. You're honestly telling me you're so understaffed or so far behind, one of your guys can't come out and change a hose clamp in 3 minutes? So that kind of really pissed me off, especially since I've done business with them before at a different job, and they were a lot better. So, yeah, serviceability, parts availability, way more important than how fast it gets to 60. Just because downtime ends up costing so much. You might be wondering why downtime is such a concern to us. In construction is, well, if I tell you, the customer, that I'm going to have the trusses delivered on this date, they're going to schedule a crane for a day or two after to swing them. Cranes are one of those fields that there's a lot more demand for cranes than there are crane operators and cranes to go around. So if I break down and can't can't get parts to, get the truck there later that day or the very next day, they're going to be pissed because they got to reschedule the crane, which is going to cost them money. And then their customer, who they're building the house for, is going to be irate because now they're not going to be able to move in on the date projected when they signed all the paperwork. And considering the way the world has been going, people are really irate when you can't get them what they want right now. I mean, how would you feel if the person building your house calls you up and says, hey, you're going to be a month late because the truck that was delivering whatever was stuck out of state for 3 weeks waiting for a part? You're not going to be happy. Especially since you might have sold your old house and need to be out of it at a certain time because the people who bought it would really like to move in. And that's just a tiny segment of the trucking industry. Hey, we're in Idaho. We can go 5 miles an hour faster. And that kind of goes back to that weight difference. If I'm 6,000 pounds lighter and I'm already heading to Idaho Falls, and you call me up and you need to add more to your order last minute, or you got a customer who really wants something, can I swing by, pick up whatever it is, throw it on my truck and run it out with another order, I can say yes, absolutely, because I have the capacity to do so. If you don't, that you might have to eat it on a different truck, and that truck might have not even be close to where it needs to be. So now you're paying the mileage for it to go way out of its way. There's just a lot to logistics people don't think about. And I'm sitting up high enough, I'm cutting off the top of my head. I guess I should pull in and get some fuel here eventually too. Got 2 more hours to go. May have enough fuel. So it's just one of those things like, that's not gonna be the answer for everybody. We're gonna need some other solutions. Since we're on an urgent delivery, I think we'll just stay at 65. It's gonna take years and years to get the fast charger network up to be on par with gas stations. Even putting charging stations at gas stations. we got ourselves an urgent delivery, so we're just gonna keep on motoring along here at 65. Traffic offenses are turned off, so I'm not going to get a speeding ticket. Although we probably shouldn't slow down for this turn. I suppose that's kind of my biggest gripe with Teslas. They've kind of taken the position that they have all the answers. They're going to solve all the problems. And on paper, it sounds good. In the real world, not so much. Of course. Space station deflated. The other problem I think some people forget about, going back to the whole charger thing, if you're in a very small warehouse or facility, you might not have the space to put a charging station in for your fleet. I mean, if you barely have enough room to park a vehicle, your vehicles on your facility lot, you might be space limited and not be able to put a fast charging system, or a robust enough fast charging system to keep your fleet fully charged. Misjudged the fuel economy. I only got 53 more miles, so might be cutting it close. Or for maybe a different category, like contractors, plumbers, electricians, other tradesmen like that, they might take the company vehicle home. So who's going to pay to install the charger at the person's house so they can use their company vehicle? If their house can even support a charger in the first place. Again, going back to the one guy, it cost him $10,000 to wire his house up so he could put a charger, spend the money to install the charger. Do we have a gas station up here? Or are we close enough to make it? I think we're gonna make it. Off the curb a little bit on that one. All right in the shop. All right. I think we accidentally hit that. Plenty of room. I think them chicken sticks are there. We'll unload. With me. Ended up taking us 12 hours, 32 minutes. 630 miles, 141 gallons of fuel, 74 big ones. Nice. That will allow us to finally upgrade for garage. Got for current company offers. Do we got anything maybe going to Twin? No. Nothing going to Idaho. Bit of a bummer. Utah, Nevada, Oregon, Washington. We've got some cables going to Pocatello. That at least gets us heading in the right direction. It's also urgent delivery. Washington, Oregon, Washington, Montana, Pocatello load. Boise. Boise, Idaho. Guess that's looking like One of them Pocatello jobs is probably their best bet. Probably. Also pays us 21. I think we'll get these loaded up. We'll have to grab some fuel first. It's not one way. Get over there and get us some fuel. Let's check the map. Let's see if there's some on the way. No. There is not. So we will have to go back and fill up. No, we'll go get some fuel. Because that's important. Just running out of fuel is kind of a dumb thing to do. That'll also leave us a little more money after we upgrade the garage, so we can cover operating expenses like fuel so we get paid next time. Know if we can hire a driver and just have him drive random jobs, or if you actually have to have a truck for them to drive. It's been a while, I forget. That light didn't say green. Filler on up. $4.04 a gallon. Alright, we're going to take care of one little thing here. Might as well make sure Well, that's a good repair. And there's a light that's bugging me. That light is... yeah, that's just a rear light, and we need a rear right. Now that should work with our turn signals like I wanted them to. There we go. That's what I wanted. I know, that's a silly thing, but it was bugging me. See, now they match. And that was important to me, that they matched. Of course, I should also probably turn the lights on. Coils down to Pocatello and then go over to our garage in Twin. Upgrade our garage. That'd be cool. Nice class looking truck right there. I don't usually take photos of this account, but let's... that looks cool. Sometimes you just got to take a picture of your truck. Right? Alright, you're red. Turn green. They have clothes? Interesting. I'll just skip the trailer back in and get loaded. Already got our lift axle set down, so we're ready to roll. If if I were to buy a truck, I'd buy a 8x4 configuration like this. It allows you to haul heavier. We made it. Not sure what that guy was doing. Especially at 4 o'clock in the morning. Just waiting for the light. Well, we're 2 hours in and nobody's tried to sell me their services yet, so I'll call that a win. This last stream I did, their first message was, well, they started off acting like a normal person, and then after like five messages, they tried to sell me stuff. Not interested in your stuff. I also have a hard time believing you have ideas for my channel if you first time watching me then you've only watched for like 5 minutes. Couldn't help myself. That's a lot heavier. Yep, we'll get these down to Pocatello, then we'll probably fast travel over to Twin. Might see if there's a load going from Pocatello to Twin. Beautiful looking sunrise, it looks like. Let me tell you, SCS definitely got the sunrises, sunsets. That's the stuff that really makes the game. We're at least back in the part of the world where you can do 70 mile an hour at least. Trees definitely look better with that clean landscaping. It's not called that. It's called something else. Clean vegetation, maybe. Still need to figure out how to clip stuff. Because to clip it, I'd have to get to a place where I could tab over to the studio, clip it. I think this is the second heaviest thing we've hauled. It's that giant silo earlier. Should have been the heaviest. Like a railroad crossing. It was a railroad crossing. Okay. I thought I was going crazy. Looks like a beautiful Saturday morning here in the ATS. I think I've seen steel coils in game. And you've got these cables. I don't think I've seen a coil. Arcade zone. It's time to play. Down with it. Those urgent bonuses really kind of add up. They're also kind of annoying because driving at night isn't as entertaining for people watching as driving during the day. So you can't really sleep or advance time with those loads and not end up being late. Continental Divide. also get some more drink. The way that trailer just floats along. That's cool. Kind of why I like driving exterior cam, because you can see that stuff better. Behind me. Wow, that was the smoothest merge I think I've seen in the game. Quite some time. That was amazing. Absolutely amazing. We did not have to come to a complete stop to merge. Way to go, AI. Way to go, AI. Proud of you. I think it would be nice, one of the features I'd like to see in the game is if you could, since most trucks have a sleeper cab, being able to sleep in your truck anywhere would be nice, not just a designated rest area. Kind of just pull into any gas station or empty parking lot and sleep. Welcome to Idaho. Way in motion head. I'm sure we'll be pulling. These coils are pretty heavy though, so. even stop. That guy. I wonder if they're empty. We are 94,891 pounds. Out here far enough to confuse the AI? Yep. That's kind of funny. Come on, freight shaker. Get her out of the way. And bug the AI again. Come on, bus. What the fuck are you waiting on? Let's go. Dear goodness. Truck just looks so good. Boy, I timed that almost perfectly. Getting into Idaho Falls. Go, and the thing hasn't come on saying our customer expects delivery soon. First thing to say, 70 loop. Okay. Got deliveries to do. Want the shit now. Close to the white line for the Jeep, I guess. Good. Army surplus store. Sneeze again. Used to be a lot more lava rock around here. You can do 80 cars, so I don't know why you're just sitting there like an asshole. So that's what you're doing. Sitting there like an asshole. They got this whole interchange just tore up because they're redoing everything. And we're not merging. There'll be a lot more houses right there though too. Because I've delivered a whole lot of houses right there. Generally, you put the utilities in before you put the houses in. Generally. We did have a subdivision we delivered several houses to where they put the houses in before they put the roads in. Or the utilities. That was a mess. That was an absolute cluster. The only question is, whatever flash is on. Okay, well, let us raise our push axle. As you do not back up with those down. Alright, go ahead and unload. See how we did. Another excellent. 355 miles, 7 hours, 57 minutes, and burned 94 gallons of fuel. Made 21,697 bucks. 976 XP. Utah, Montana, Utah, Nevada, Montana. Collins, Twin Falls. And it's on their own trailer, so. Yep, boy, nothing. So we're going to quick travel over here to Twin. So we can finally upgrade our shop. Oh. And I should probably take a break. Eat something. Use the bathroom. Actually, I'm going to pause the stream right now, and we'll come back here in a bit. So, be right back.